From the Nancy Drew Clue Book, Nancy's About to Solve the Big Island Burglary. Written by Carolyn Keene, illustrated by Peter Francis, published by Aladdin. I'm Miss Melissa at the Ridgetout Free Library, where I'm reading from my phone because our hard copy of the book is checked out. So I'm on the free Cloud Library app that you can download from our website. Nancy led her friends to the computer lab next to the lobby. She knew she probably should have told them what she was so excited about, but she wanted to show them instead. While Bess and George sat down in front of a computer, Nancy borrowed a pencil from the front desk. Then she went to work. I needed a piece of paper from Lizzie and Zee's notepad, Nancy said, so I could see the last note they wrote on it. She rubbed the side of the pencil against the paper, slowly revealing the marks left from the last note that had been written on the pad. After a minute or so, the words, "Your camera is outside your door," appeared like magic. Bess covered her mouth with her hand. Lizzie and Zee were the ones who wrote that note, George said. They're the ones who stole Harry's camera. They stole their father's camera. Bess nodded. It wouldn't have been hard to get away with if you just had to walk right next door. They must have put the camera down, slipped the note under their parents' door, and run back to their own room. But why? Nancy said. That's the real question. Let's look up sizzle reel. Remember they used that term when they were taping Geordie surf? I think it might have something to do with what Zee and Geordie were talking about on the beach. George typed away, pulling up a web page. According to this site, a sizzle reel is a short video, like a highlight reel you use to promote yourself. Promote yourself? Bess asked. For example, if you wanted to enter a surfing competition. George's eyes went wide. That's what happened. Lizzie and Zee were helping Geordie make a video to enter the Big Island Surf Contest. Harry's camera is top of the line. It would have been much better than any video you could record on a cell phone. Nancy stared down at the note. Now that she thought about it, she remembered that Lizzie had been wearing purple high tops at the luau. She'd been the girl who ran away from them on the beach. She must have panicked and returned the camera right after. We have to tell Carol and Harry, Nancy said. The girl shared a nervous look. Carol and Harry Hendricks had seemed so happy before. Now the Clue crew was going to have to tell them their kids had stolen the camera? That Lizzie and Zee had been lying to them this whole time? What would they say? Nancy, Bess, and George walked into the Green Pineapple restaurant just as the Hendricksons were finishing up their dinner. Now that Harry had his camera back, he was taking dozens of pictures again. He knelt down in front of Zee and Lizzie and kept trying to get them to smile. Nancy took a deep breath before approaching the table. We found out who took the camera. Do you really want to know? Well, yes, Harry said if there's a thief on the loose, they should be reported to the manager and never be allowed at Sunrise Resort again. Nancy looked at Lizzie and Zee. Both their faces turned bright red. Nancy was hoping they would reveal the truth so she didn't have to. Just as she was about to speak, Lizzie jumped in. Dad, it was us. Zee and I took your camera. We needed it to help a friend we met on the beach. What? Carol asked. She put down her fork. You took the camera? You're kidding, right? But why? Asked Harry. His face had gone pale. We've been searching everywhere for it, and you didn't say a thing? Our friend Geordie. He wanted to enter the surfing contest, but all he had was this flip phone, Zee explained, and we wanted to make him this amazing highlight reel so he'd be picked as a contestant. Even the video on our phones wasn't great, and we thought if we used yours, then you should have asked. Harry's brow was furrowed. He was just as flustered as he'd been at the luau when he found out the camera was missing. This is how you thank me for taking you on a nice vacation? You steal my camera and lied to me and your mother? When were you going to tell us the truth? Lizzie rolled her eyes. She was about to say something, but her mom interrupted her. Do not roll your eyes, young lady. She pointed a finger at Lizzie. You and your brother are in big trouble once we get home. But, Dad, Lizzie started, we did ask to borrow your camera 3 times. It's like you didn't hear a word we said. You're obsessed with that thing. You keep taking 1,000 pictures and telling us to pose or smile. It's like you've barely talked to us since we've got here. Harry's face softened. I don't think that's true, and if it is, I certainly didn't mean to ignore you. We know what we did was wrong, Z said, but we were just trying to help a friend. Geordie's one of the best surfers on this island. He has to get into that contest. It was wrong. Very, very wrong, Carol said, but this time her voice was gentler. I really didn't think I was ignoring you, Harry said. You kids are my whole world. I only wanted to come here so we could all spend some time together. Carol turned to the Clue crew. Thank you for your help. We'll take it from here. Nancy and her friends went back to Mr. and Mrs. Fane's table. While they had been gone, the Fanes had ordered pineapple ice cream for dessert, along with a giant slice of hapia cake. The girls grabbed the extra forks and dug in. Looks like we solved the mystery after all, George said. Nancy laughed. Yeah, this was no Loch Ness monster. Monster? Scotty said through a mouthful of cake. I don't like monsters. Not a real monster, Mr. Fane explained. You'll have to tell us the whole story, but for now, let's celebrate another case solved, Mrs. Fane said. She held a spoonful of ice cream in the air, pretending to toast with it. The girls smiled and held their own spoonfuls of cake and ice cream. Their last night on Hawaii had truly been their best. We've got lots of other Nancy Drew books here at the library and on the Cloud Library. We'll have another book soon. The Hawaiian Islands are in the Pacific Ocean, almost 5,000 miles from Pennsylvania, about a 10-hour plane ride. Hawaii was settled around 400 AD, so that's around 1,600 years ago, by Polynesians who came in canoes from about 2,000 miles away. In 1893, a group of businessmen, mostly Americans, overthrew the monarchy, and Hawaii soon came under American control. Here's a picture of the last queen. Hawaii didn't become a state until 1959, when it became the 50th state. That might be why Nancy Drew visited there that year in a book called The Secret of the Golden Pavilion, which is available here at the Oosterhout. It's a major tourism destination known for beaches and volcanoes and is home to a major observatory.